So what role has and or will NIST and your group specifically play with the CMMC, as this goes forward, right? Because I think I like what you said, to some extent, and even DCMA for that matter, right? Because I love what you just said a second ago, is that we've got to do a better job as an entity, as organizations, in communicating what our requirements are in a contractual way, right? So that's the DCMA, right? And they're going to have to update, I guess, the D4 regulations to point to CMMC. So my question would be is, how involved is NIST in the process with like that DCMA stuff and D4? How much is NIST involved with the CMMC AB and figuring out, like, are they going to look at third-party risk, at a CMMC level 3? Like, what will the auditor's responsibilities be?
Well, and again, a very good question. We get asked that question all the time. I think we don't have any direct involvement in the CMMC per se.
Mm-hmm.
It's a program that is being developed by the DoD, but I think we do play a role in the CMMC in the sense that we have a long history. We work with DoD all the time as we're trusted partners. We've worked on the Joint Task Force since 2009, working on documents like 853 and 37, 839. Those are all Joint Task Force pubs. Now, I will say that much of what CMMC depends on for requirements come from two foundational NIST publications. One of those is that we just been talking about, the 800-171, and the other one is 800-172. And we can, if we have time, we can talk about the history of that document. It's actually very interesting on how that came about. But our job, again, at NIST is to produce for the DoD and for all of our customers who use those publications the best technical guidance that we possibly can. Mm-hmm. And in that case, it's going to be 171 and 172. And DoD is taking those publications, and they're going to form the core of what requirements you're going to see spread across those 5 levels of the CMMC, from level 1 to level 5. And so I think that's on the side of the coin I talked about with respect to the requirements and the controls per se. Mm-hmm. The assessment side, of course, DoD, we had some early meetings with them. They wanted to know how accreditation bodies were set up, because we have a long history of working with accreditation bodies. We've been involved in many programs, like our cryptographic module validation program. Mm-hmm. We have accreditation criteria. Those are accredited private sector testing laboratories. We were involved in the early days of NIAP, the National Information Assurance Partnership, where we have common criteria testing labs. These are all private sector laboratories, but they have to have an accreditation criteria to make sure that the people who are working there have the skills to do those testing and evaluation activities and those evaluations. And that when the results come out, they can be validated or certified by some entity of authority. And so that, we had some early discussions, and then the DoD has gone off to build, or work on their version of that accreditation body that will result in those CMMC certifications down the road. But again, when it comes to assessments, I am sure they're going to be drawing off of our NIST 853 alpha publication. They'll be drawing off the NIST 800-171 alpha, because those provide a lot of core materials for doing assessments of controls and of requirements. Mm-hmm. And so again, that's our role, is to play kind of that technical role and making sure that whatever we produce is technically correct and sound and can be implemented by whichever our customers are working in, whatever program they're working on.